What is up, guys? Welcome to Loveshack Entertainment. Today we are on site and we are doing a deck profile. This is Ryan. Ryan, introduce yourself. Want to tell us what you're playing today?
Today I'm going to play Counter Fairy.
Okay, that's pretty cool. I've certainly heard a lot about it. So let's go ahead and get into it then. Show us what you got.
Alright.
And I'll ask you some questions along the way.
Main deck.
Alright.
3 Bountiful Artemis.
Notice that only one of those are ulti. Let's get a quick zoom in on that. Only one of them.
That's a pain, but one of the best cards in the deck. Draw a card anytime a counter trap resolves. Pretty self-explanatory.
Wouldn't be Counter Fairies without it.
Nope. 3 Guiding Ariadne. MVP. Don't pay discard or life point costs for counter traps.
Do you play any counter traps in this deck?
A few, yeah.
Yeah, all right,
And also it has real good synergy with Luster. You blow it up, search one, and then put the one you searched in the scale. So
pretty standard.
Yep. I play 1 Arclord Christia. In the event that I ever do get 4 fairies in graveyard, I can special it. If not, I can Pendulum Force level 4, so I can Tribute Summon it. Just really good for locking people out.
Makes sense. I was going to ask you why you elected not to play 2, but that explanation kind of cleared it up for me.
2 Archfiend Eccentric. High scale, can blow up back row, blow up Ariadnes in the scale if ever needed to. Tribute to get over big things, it's just a good card. Then for the Draco engine, I play 1 Master, 1 Luster, and 2 Lecter. I chose 2 Lecter over any Vector because it's a 5 scale, which has synergy with Ariadne's 3 scale. Luster because it's Luster, and then this so that if I draw Luster, my Draco face-offs aren't dead.
Makes sense.
Now to the spells. I play,
so that's it for monsters, right?
Yeah, that's it for monsters.
Alright, waiting for Card of Demise to pop up now.
For spells, I have a few 1-ofs. I have Raigeki, because it's Raigeki. Draco face-off for the Draco engine.
Any reason you only play 1?
Because it's at 1.
I gotcha. Would you play more if you could?
No, honestly. If you only have 1 Luster, I don't need more than 1.
Alright, it's alright.
Then I play a couple of equipped spells. I play Mage Power and Moonmirror Shield.
Could you explain Mage Power?
Okay, well,
please.
I set tons of back row, and then I have Pendulum Scales, so this can potentially boost a monster up by 3,500 attack points.
It's true.
Which is really good, especially considering that I was playing Honest, and then I switched it for these 2 because I play Card of Demise. So if I draw these, I can set them or equip them. If I draw Honest, I have to discard it.
Makes sense.
And
alright.
Moonmirror Shield is basically the same sort of principle, except that it's a little more reliable.
Am I crazy? Am I crazy in thinking that Moonmirror Shield has an effect that puts it back on top of the deck or something when it dies?
Yeah,
it does? Okay, so it is recyclable?
Yeah.
Alright, not that you would obviously, do that all the time.
And then I played a 1 of MST.
Alright.
I was playing 2, but I dropped 1 for Christia.
Makes sense.
Then 3 Pot of Duality. You don't really need to special summon, and you just need your traps, luster, whatever. So it's a good card.
I feel like any deck that's playing 3 Card of Demise, which I'm assuming you're going to show us in a second.
Yeah,
I should probably be playing 3 Duality because it's just an amazing 6 card.
Yeah, it's incredible. Playing Card of Demise and drawing Pot of Duality might be one of the best things that you can ever have happen to you.
True.
Other than finding love or most other things. So Card of Demise, it's Card of Demise. It's been popping up everywhere. The card is ridiculous.
I almost think the card is a little bit too ridiculous, personally. But.
It's a little bit too ridiculous, but I don't think it's going to get hit just because nothing that's actually meta is playing it.
That's true. It's just a pot of greed.
So that's it for the spells. Moving on to the traps, I play 1 Jar of Avarice. It's really good just because recycling your counter traps is nice.
That's true.
And just because you have so much draw power, it's never like you top deck it and you're like, oh no, I can't play this card because your graveyard's full of counter traps, everything. It's good.
Makes
I like
sense.
the recycling. Then for protection, I play 3 Quaking Mirror Force.
Now, out of curiosity, is there any reason you elected not to play either regular Mirror Force or Drowning in this deck, considering your low monster count?
Well, regular Mirror Force destroys things, and I don't like that against Cosmo. So I opted for this. And then Rippling, I'd rather think optimistically that I'm protecting a Bountiful Artemis as opposed to anticipating not having it.
Alright, makes sense,
So
I guess.
I'd rather have these to protect.
I guess the reason I asked the question is because if you Quaking and you have an Artemis and the monster you Quaking is too weak for Artemis to get over, then you're kind of screwed because that's the strongest monster in your deck.
Yeah,
well,
but
other than the Draco Slayer.
that's also why I played that. That's why I added the Mage Power.
That makes sense. Alright, that makes sense.
That's it for the regular traps. I would actually play 1 Rippling, but I don't own 1. And I don't exactly know what I would swap out for it. I think it would be a good idea, though.
Makes sense.
For the counter traps, 1 Solemn Warning, it's Solemn Warning. 2 Chaos Trap Hole, hits everything. 3 Solemn Strike, because it's incredible. It's one of the best cards in the deck. Up next is the second best card in the deck, Ultimate Providence. With Ariadne in the scale, it can negate anything with no cost.
It's true.
At all. It's ridiculous.
Reasonable.
And then for the last 3 cards that I play 3 Drastic Drop Off.
So I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry. I've heard a lot about this card kind of coming back into favor now, and I noticed that the ultis and stuff got bought out. Is it really that good? Like, have you been able to use it to success for the most part?
The card is insane because if you go second and your opponent bricks and you open one of these, they are stuck with a brick. If you have any Bountiful Artemis on field, this card has absolutely no activation requirements other than your opponent drawing a card, so you get to draw at least 1 card. And it's just disruptive, like if you're playing as Pepe and they go like monkey board into Joker, normal Joker, and then you rip whatever they search.
Does it work against, and I was curious about this too, like if I play Reinforcement of the Army and search, can you then play it and I'm forced to discard that card that I added? So it's sort of like a Mind Crush that in some situations can be better because counter trap, in other situations obviously you can't guarantee what you're going to hit, but you could snipe off a duality and stuff with it as well, correct?
Yep, okay, you can snipe any, as long as your opponent drew any cards, including if they use Pantheism, Cosmo Town, whatever. You snipe one of them. If they search, you snipe exactly what they search.
Awesome.
If you're a real dick, you can create irreparable game states if they shuffle their hand and get free wins, but don't do that. Or do that, it's up to you. So that's it for the main deck. For the extra deck, it's basically irrelevant.
I was going to say, I'm guessing you don't go into it much, right?
No, it's like random rank 4s and stuff, but I do play the 1 Ignister, because I play Luster, and then 2 Dinoster. I go into this card the most out of any of them, because you can just Pendulum Summon out 2, fuse, and then Pendulum Summon them next turn. It's just good. It's a good way to cycle through stuff. Then for just rank 4s, I play Cowboy, 1 Dweller, 1 Magister, Steel Swarm Roach, Fairy Cheer Girl. This is probably one of the best rank 4s in the deck.
Yeah, Fairy Cheer Girl, right? That's the one that, I was trying to get that to focus, but it wouldn't work. I'm just going to leave it then.
2 level 4
You detach your material to draw a card, right?
Yep. Okay. 2 level 4 fairies attached to draw. It's really simple.
I want a generic
19
one.
attack. Gaga Samurai, Diamond Direwolf, Castel,
Gotcha.
Ragna Zero, Dark Rebellion, and then Utopia and Bladen.
Ooh, see? It's the whole extra deck. Pretty much any rank 4s you could throw in there, right?
Yeah, there's nothing.
No Silent Honor Arc, no...
I both don't like that Silent Honor Arc has to take 1 in attack mode, and I also don't own 1, so that helped too.
That makes sense.
That's it for the extra, and then for the sideboard, it's a little outdated, but it still, I think, stands to reason. 2 Battle Fader for Cosmo.
Makes sense.
2 Flying Sea for BAPK. 2 Lancia for Cosmo.
Reasonable.
Then I play 1 MST and 2 Twin Twister as countersides for Royal Decree.
Mirror match too, I'd imagine, right? If you see it.
Yeah.
Because end phase you snipe stuff and then you're in an instantly better.
In the mirror, it's either incredible or it just gets Providence and you wasted 2 cards. So I don't know. Especially because Twin Twisters, when you play card of Demise, just isn't that great. So I would rather side in this before I side those in.
See, I almost have a different opinion with Twin Twister and card of Demise because if you do get yourself in a situation where you're gonna have to discard it anyway, at that point you can just waste it because it's a free card that you got and then you can pop stuff, which is...
Like, you can waste it, but there's also...
And when I say wasted, I mean like you just snipe 2 back row blindly, but at the very least, you know, you didn't have to waste anything from your hand to actually get that card.
Yeah, but at the same time, what if you draw it and then 2 things you can actually use instead? Like, I just don't want to be put in a position where I have to discard a card.
Makes sense.
And if there's a point where I can't discard a card and I set it in the back row, then it's dead.
Yeah.
So I opt MST first, but I probably side off 3 in anyway.
I'm with you. And then we got something else?
We got some traps for the side. We have 2 Curse Seal the Forbidden Spells.
Trolling.
I actually kind of want to move it to the main board. You know, hits Cosmo Town, Itelli,
Pantheism,
Domain, Stormforth.
It stops the effects too, right? So if you snipe a Pantheism draw effect, they can't then go and be like, all right, I'm going to banish him.
Yep, you negate it, and then they can't activate any of their effects for the rest of the duel. So you snipe and Savage. That's good. 2 Debunk. This is really just because Chaos Trap Hole does nothing against odd rogue matchups like Mermails and things like that, which this is just good for.
Makes sense.
And then 2 Unwavering Bond to round out the
Counter Trap Pendulum.
Counter Trap Pendulum card. It's actually really savage. I didn't really think too much of it when it first came out, and then I played a deck that could actually use it, and it goes pretty deep. So
Makes sense. Me too.
yeah, it's a good card. So that's everything.
All right. I guess my only other question would be: have you had any difficult matchups, or have there been any decks you played against that you thought the deck like doesn't function well against, that are just inherently weak matchups?
There's nothing that it really inherently functions bad against, but if you're playing against something meta like Monarch or Cosmo, you're just more likely to draw not as well as they are. So they're difficult in the sense that those decks are just more consistent.
Makes sense.
But if you open like if you even open semi-decent, you have such a good chance of winning that it's kind of disgusting.
No, makes sense.
But no, the deck's super. It's really good, and the fact that it's actually fun while being good is kind of nice because Cosmo, Monarch.
Yeah, those
fun.
decks are.
The APK is kind of fun.
I feel like we're shifting away from the speed and more towards. I mean, you got Demise, Yosenju, Klee, and obviously, like if Demise gets hit, those decks are going to go right back to being kind of obsolete. But it's a pretty fun meta for sure with those options. So
no, it's definitely wicked cool. So yeah.
So yeah. Oh, thank you, Ryan, for doing this deck profile video. Hopefully, maybe if you build another good deck sometime in the future, we will like to do another one from you. But thank you guys for watching. Please remember to comment, like, subscribe. Don't dislike this video based on Ryan's face. All right, he can't help it.
Yeah,
Ben, hey Ben,
That's
hey Ben,
fair.
I see you. All right, guys, I'll see you next time right here at Loveshack Entertainment. Bye bye.